Good morning everybody, welcome to Desert Survival, and I want to respond to a question I was asked about a couple of days ago about what is the point of having a pressure graph on a watch. And you know what, this is such a great question, so let's just get into it because this could be a really lengthy video. So over here we have the watch in question, and if I just point it towards the sun, you can see that there is a BARO graph. It's right here, and right now it is flashing right up in the corner, and that means the pressure is just shooting up. I mean, it's really shooting up. And so you're probably wondering, well, you know, the weather is what it is, right? And the pressure graph is, you know, what's that going to tell you? Well, it's going to tell you quite a bit actually. So over here, this is what I drew out earlier, and over here is a high pressure system. And high pressure systems, they turn in the northern hemisphere over to the get off, buddy. They turn to the left, or rotate to the left, or anti-clockwise. This is a lower pressure system, and as you can see, in the northern hemisphere they rotate to the right in a clockwise direction. So that's why a high pressure system is called an anticyclone. Okay, anticyclone, because it's anti-clockwise, and a cyclone is just a cyclone. A cyclone is just a area of pressure. Okay, so you're probably now thinking, well, okay, just get on with it, Ian, because you're being boring. Okay, well, I get on with it, I get it. Okay, so there is a number, 1013.25 millibars, and that is stated by the International Standard of Atmosphere Pressure. And this is and this is a defining line, and it's in millibars. And I think I'm not going to get into that. Okay, so already you learned that a low pressure system goes clockwise, a high pressure system goes to anti-clockwise. And more you are inside a high pressure system, the more higher pressure you're going to get. So you know, it's going to be high pressure, and it could be like you know, a lot of pressure, like 12.9 whatever, you know, really bloody high. And over here could be really bloody low. And you're probably still thinking, well, we just bloody get on with it because you're just being really boring. Okay, I'll get on with it. Okay, I get it. Okay, so let's just get to the crux of it. And over here, now we're going to get into the interesting bit. Now you know which way high pressure and low pressure go. Now this is why it's important to know why a watch like this shows high pressure and low pressure. And so these are molecules. These are representations of molecules, and over here they are really squished together, and this would be a high pressure system. Over here is a low pressure system, and the molecules are more spread apart like this. Now so if you imagine you are traveling 15 miles an hour, or you got a 15-mile-an-hour wind, and one is, let's just say, a 50-mile-an-hour wind on a Wednesday, and it is a low pressure wind. And then on a Wednesday you are going to be having a 50-mile-an-hour wind, but it's going to be having less force than a high pressure wind, which is going to happen on a Friday. And the reason is because on a high pressure system, these are all molecules, and they're all kind of like squished together. Okay, and on a low pressure system, you got more the molecules are more spread apart. So you've got all these air molecules and they're all spread apart in a low pressure system, and in a high pressure system they're all compressed, you know, there's more of them. And so if you know, if you imagine putting your hand out, if you imagine putting your hand out in the car window and on a high pressure day, and you do this, you're going to feel more force, and on a low pressure day at the same speed you're going to feel less force. But high pressure also affects heat, and out here in the desert that is really, really important, because it gets bloody hot and it also gets really cold as well. And the reason is that it's exactly the same as down here, but because you got more molecules on a high pressure than a low pressure. So if you imagine you are putting your hand inside an oven and the oven is on, but you're not touching any molecules, that'd be like a low pressure, and you can keep your hand inside the oven without touching any metal for let's say 20 seconds. But as soon as you touch a piece of metal, like the grill or the sides of the oven, then you're going to burn yourself, because there are thousands of more molecules per square centimeter, or whatever measurement you want to take or give, compared to a low pressure, compared to not touching any molecules. And that's how pressure affects heat. Also, along the same lines, you know, I just talked about this, you know, with the wind on a high pressure day. You know, if you look at your watch and you see the high pressure going up, you know, you might want to think about not looking into the wind, because you are going to get thousands of little dust particles blowing in your eyes. Now your body knows that, you know, anybody who's been around for X amount of time knows that. But having something like this gives you kind of like a heads up of what the weather's going to be doing, whether it's going to be raining and overcast with a with a low pressure, or you know, it's going to start chilling down and really getting cold, because you know the sun has dropped and you got a high pressure system. And you know, you might want to think about, well, you know, before it gets really cold, because you know you're in a high pressure system, and you know, to start a fire, get the materials ready to start a fire so you can keep warm. You know, or if it's like in the middle of summer, you know, and you see a low pressure system coming, you might want to think about, well, you know, there's going to be less molecules of pressure pushing against me, which is going to moderate the heat a lot more better than a high pressure system. And so you will be able to, it will be cooling down a little bit, because there'll be less molecules pushing against you. And let's make a push to get out the desert. Anyway, that, I hope I made some sort of sense. If not, ask me to do the video again and I will. Anyway, thanks for the question. It was a great question. Bye, and don't forget to thumb up, subscribe and hit that bell and all that rest of that stuff. All right, bye everybody.